Hi. People are gonna die.
She was looking for
See me your email on Discord.
Who cares if
I get a little overwhelmed.
Yeah, people are gonna.
What's the big deal? They're old anyway, right?
This is a message for the robots. I'll be gone. Take me on, I dare you, robots. Take us all on. This is our aha moment, humanity. I'm gonna try bringing back the pink chair. Yes, it's candle wax. Some late pinky nice. What can you do? Anyone else feeling insecure about your future, about your job? Let's talk about all of it. Hey. Really, process? Can you hit those notes? I want to see if this chair is more comfortable and less squeaky than the one I've been using. And as always, the bangs, they're confused. But anyway, welcome, chat. Welcome. I guess this is like Ruby Online episode, whatever. Who cares? I only call it that so people know the difference from when I'm doing like a phone versus laptop stream, and to let people know what kind of stream it's going to be. Come see it at PronCon. Dude, I want to go. I'm so sad. Lo was on board to go yesterday, and I was like, all right, dude, solid. Let's just book it. But now she's getting cold feet. I just want one other bitch with me to hold me back, okay? Because I've been out of control. Thank you for the thumbs down. I also internally in my mind give you a thumbs down every time I see your name in the chat, and especially when I see that rough visual. Hoo-wee! Hoo-wee! This is a book about your lifetime of sexual inadequacy. The second sex. You did it once, you did it twice. Retire. Retire your sexual persona. It's Halloween, and I do not care. I've got these fucking stickers, and I put them in my hair. All right, chill out, dude. I just need to get my cigarettes. This was going to be a phone stream, but I decided to do it on my laptop so I could watch stuff, too. I'll say it anyway. But Pran, as of right now, I said I'm like 80% sure I'm going. 80% sure I'm just going, even if it's alone. I already told my job about it, and it doesn't conflict with my schedule that week. So, but I would love to get another bitch with me. Okay. I need someone to help ensure. Oops, this is the wrong icon in the corner. So unprofessional. Also, my mom is now a fan of Umbreon and follows his plotline. So if anyone else thinks that they have a star pet like Umbreon, please send me that in the Discord or on X. Not sex, on X. Yeah, people. Tee. Infographic show. Yeah, we are. I mean, it's quite plausible, people. I don't think it's alarmist. I don't think it's hysteria. I think that this is way more of a fundamental technological revolution than any from horses to cars. Oh, and then we figured it out. Everyone's telling you, what do the horses do? Okay, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that, because for the first fucking time ever, we're going to have a creature that is smarter than us. And look at how we treat creatures we perceive as less intelligent. Look at factory farming. That could, if we're making an AI and its baseline coding is somewhat similar and reactive to us, we're fucking doomed. We're fucking doomed. And then, aside from that, and maybe it all mixes together, but there's the whole biblical angle. Okay. I don't know, guys. What is this? Is this chair working for me? It's not going to squeak as much, but like, I feel like I don't have enough support. I think it's a better visual for the chair too, but Ruby, why do you repress your sexuality? Because I'm dysgenic. I'm sexually broken. It's bad. I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh my God, that's such a good choice I made. Because yeah, sexually broken, dysgenic taste, don't want to have a baby addicted to methadone, just working our way up. We got the hamster, okay? And that, I'm good on that, okay? That's scratching whatever little maternal itch, you know, that's still buried somewhere repressed in my soul. We have sweet little cinnamon to help with that. And dogs like Umbreon, bunnies like Nibbles, and you know the king. You know the king. Have a good time in the end times. Well, so I just think that people really do need to start thinking. And I specifically am wanting to go back to finish my degree. And I majored in computer science because I was trying to be practical. Everyone was like, oh, you know, everyone's going to become coders. That's the future. No, because the AI is already like outperforming many top software engineers. So, and on top of that, too boring for me personally. I'm more of like a creative, people-oriented person, not so much into the like numbers and whatever. Can you break what is already broken? The king who ain't no king. The king of despair. The king of having no hair. The king of one ball standing 6 foot tall. What? God damn it. Anyway, so today, as always, that's been my new algorithmic hyperfixation freakout thing is AI right now. Not very new, but I thought it was really interesting. I forget who it was. It might have been Fed Up Southern. They were like, oh, what year did the end times, like the dystopian apocalypse in the Terminator happen? Looked it up, 2029, which is like right like on the money of when I think that the super intelligence will completely, you know, change our economy in a way that we won't be able to recognize. And we're going to need some kind of universal basic income. And I'm just trying to think of like any kind of job security for like my, you know, to finish my education. You don't know anything about AI, please do something else. Well, I'm not, what? No. And we're all going to learn together. We're all going to get freaked out and alarmist. But you know, you can come up and do this and then hop off or whatever. I know this is your hot take on AI is, but yeah, no shit. No shit, people. I'm a crazy idiot. I'm a crazy idiot. We've established that. Fuck off. When do you think we'll get the AGI and how? And this isn't what I think. You're acting like this is some niche opinion. Literally every computer scientist that's like in the top of their field is like raising serious alarm bells. And it's something that people have been preparing for and have started organizations like OpenAI that was originally made to create some kind of like guidelines and safety. All the people like Sam Altman, he has a fucking bunker, okay? Hey, Psycho Man, how are you? Cinnamon will lead the human resistance against China. Quite potentially. But anyway, so I wanted to just watch some videos about that and see what chat was saying. I could be alarmist. They only talk about AI. Yeah, that's so you could say that about literally every scientist in every industry, but we do at a certain point have to trust people to decipher reality that we can't understand. Because the alternative is just being like, yeah, whatever. Like at a certain point, I don't know. It's like, yeah, you could be the ultimate skeptic. And that's a really safe position at because you never have to defend or stand on anything, you know? That's why I don't like this talk about me exploiting him. Like, I don't think we're on different levels of insanity. Well, actually, no, I do think we are because I've been able to, sustain my life and move out and go on tour and do a bunch of life things and, had partners and whatever. I fucked and I fucked. Dude, no, but I also want to touch on that, the antichrist stuff, because I just get that vibe from Sam Altman. You're a much better person than fucking you. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't really super slot people into the bad or good person slots. That doesn't really work with reality or nuance. AI is fake, Chicken Little. Ruby thinks her life is a movie. Not really, but I've definitely had some Truman Show moments of not being sure. So we could reignite all that psychosis if you want. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves. True. Sarah Connor spitting bars. So let's look up. I wanted to just look up the Terminator clip first. And I was just making a playlist of, different videos that I was watching that I'd watch like 20 minutes of and then be like, this would be interesting to watch on stream. Always trying to think of the next content thing, squeeze in some content before I have to go to work. To even call large language models and AI is a misnomer. I mean, okay, but like it's I'm pretty sure there's technology, the first off, that we don't know about or have access to, obviously. What's going on behind your door? Oh, there's a bitch hiding there, okay? All right, you caught me. I did it again. Oops. From Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yeah, let me see. Terminator. Oh, Lo is live. Let's go watch Lo too. I'm glad she's back. Lo's been going back live. If you're not subscribed, go to @Riding High with Lo. I just saw she's doing a little get ready with me action. Looks like Grace is hiding. No, I already have a nice little dolly. Okay, we don't need that one. No, I honestly wish her the best at this point. And I'm really exhausted of the fighting and the drama. And at the end of the day, I do empathize with her as a person, even though she hates my guts. It just is what it is. Yeah, robots get scared of lions. I just think that this is going to completely put us in a state of like massive unemployment. Already it's taking massive bites out of industries. And it's curious, and I want to see what chat would say about which way you think it's going to go. I'm being a bit hyperbolic and facetious, which I know goes over the heads of people like Ruska and other like autistic people who struggle socially. So I am being a little facetious, a little hyperbolic. I hope that, this isn't what's going to happen. But when there's that like 5 to 50% chance, that it'll wipe out humanity, just like with, the nuclear arms race is the only kind of comparable thing where we've had this thing where everyone's racing to create something that could kill all life, potentially all life in the entire universe. I mean, I don't know what I believe, honestly. We're in a very exploratory phase, people. And yeah, Thank you. Now this is the chats I like. Enough with this forming bullshit. Bullshit. Bring on the compliments, people. That comes from a meta-analysis of like, there was a survey they did of like the top scientists who study it, and that was the rate. I know it's like, yeah, it's a ridiculously large range, but the whole point is that even if it were a 1% chance, I'm fucking concerned. Okay. And I want to make choices that are realistic about what I should go back to school for. And initially, I was trying to be smart by going for computer science, dropped out. Now I could go back, but I just don't want. First off, it's boring. I'm not a tech person, obviously. I suck at tech. Like, it was very ambitious. I did used to do a lot of research studies at Yale. I've been studied and tortured, and used to put my hand in a bucket of ice water and say how painful it was and hold it there. And then they'd put a cigarette in front of me. How bad do you want the cigarette? Like, weird studies like that. RK wants to know, Ruska, did you meet up with Ava yet, or did you get stood up? Good question. I forget. Is Ruska in Seattle too? Your Bodega streams gave me the impression that you're a technical genius. I know. I feel I have to come clean. I'm really might actually be lacking. I did research studies at Yale. Sounds like you went to. No, I was a paid rat for Yale students to test on. Lab rat. Yes. I'm not. Oh, I hate you so much. Every interaction, it's like your first interaction ever. There's no context, whatever, like just do the dumbest interpretation of things. But yeah, doing research studies, not me being the studier, but being the studied one. Yes. Who else lives in Seattle? Oh, I didn't know that. Is he still in the cult? How's the cult doing? I haven't been following as much of the lolcow stuff. I still am tuning in more for like the Becky drama is more interesting to me than the lolcow stuff right now, but I'm open to hear if there's been anything interesting. Demons taking over AI robots. Well, I think it's an interesting, potentiality there, that there's, prophecy in the Bible is connected and confirming and describing what could have looked like nuclear meltdown or something created by machines. I'm not good at explaining it. That's why we have the videos, people, okay? Don't worry, Keemstar's still on top. Why is Rewind suspended? Oh, yeah. So that's a huge issue. I'm 100% anti-nihilism. I really don't want to. I think that is a huge issue, and I don't want to exasperate that by being alarmist, like, oh, the world is going to end. It's not actually literally going to end. No matter what, the best route to go is always to try to find and pursue more profound meaning in your life than fleeting, pleasures. But also being cognizant and ready for a future that's going to be changing more rapidly than people can keep up with, in my opinion, and in the opinion of like anyone who studies it. All right, Terminator 2. We'll come back to low. Let's see. Future War. Here we go. This is what I want to see, the opening scene. All right, here we are. Say bye-bye. Expect things to get better without any understanding of how it's infuriating. I mean, so you don't think that any kind of super intelligence is going to happen? Because that's a take too. Some people, that honestly, whatever advancements AI can provide us, I think already we're seeing the impact on people's minds going to fucking mush more and more. I mean, there has to be some kind of plan. Not that there's anything I can really do, I just think it's interesting to talk about, ultimately I would like to guide it in a more positive way, not towards like a nihilism, so nothing matters, the world's ending kind of way. D-Dog Def talks to AI all day long. So I actually, I downloaded ChatGPT because I usually used Grok, but I was curious. So I did try interacting with like a chat bot a little bit, and it wasn't anyway. And Prawn says, if you're still watching, I just saw your text, and I'm like 80% sure. Yeah. My only concern is, as many saw, my last IRL ended in violence, and I don't want that to happen again. And yeah, I just have some concerns about that. And I just think it would be better if I went like with someone else who's like a friend and not just like solo. But maybe you could get the HFF and save Billy the Fridge. The only people that think LLMs are spooky are people who don't understand them and people that are trying to sell you something. All right. So I guess, yeah, maybe it's just I don't understand it. And that's why I have concerns about AI. But it does seem like, I don't know. The more I read into it or look at like any reputable resource for information, it also is concerned about it. But I'm glad you guys are assuaging my fears right now by saying, I hope I am just stupid and, I'm just believing the wrong thing or something. I don't fucking know, people. I'm really not invested either way. Okay, I'm just trying to live my life. I'm super invested. I'm invested. I hope you're right, Riska. I hope you're right. Could be. I do I like a lot of the like Diary of a CEO kind of stuff. Zeus will protect you from Lala. Lala.
3 billion human lives ended on August 29th, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire
AI
called the
psychosis
war
is also a
Judgment
thing. Yeah.
Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines.
They are, though. I mean, but the thing is, science fiction, it is people pondering like alternative outcomes and reality. So there is a realistic element to it in that. There's nothing categorically different about an LLM. It's just data in, data out. It's a computer program that will never get you intelligence and thinking it can, as a Satanist point of view. Hopefully, I don't know, man. I hope you guys are right. I hope that nothing bad ever happens. Reality is just, this is all super normal, nothing to look into here. Let's all just fucking jerk off. Let's just fucking master fucking bait our way into the fucking dystopian future. That's what you guys want? Where's the kratom? Ah! I literally, oh my God. Right when I started this, I said and acknowledged that, like when we switched from horse-drawn carriages to cars, of course, there's been wild technological advancements. But if we create an intelligence that is smarter than us, and already the, large language model, whatever AI agents that we have currently are already taking a huge chunk out of the economy. So anyway, I'm definitely not going back for computer science. Chat, what do you think I should go back for? I just want to at least get like a 2-year degree. I love YouTube and I love doing it, but this is a non-steady life choice kind of thing to do. Hey, what's up, JTO? How are you? Yeah, so I kind of ping pong, but back and forth, you know. Obviously, we all know I'm spiritually confused, and I do read the Bible and pray a lot, and that would be like in conflict to some degree. It's just, yeah, I don't know what to make of it all. So it's not possible to read the story of the terrible. Well, I don't. I also struggle with the Bible, and like I don't really like the Old Testament. So, oh no, poor D Dog. Why? I hope he just can be happy in his life. That's all I want. And I liked him as a streamer. The real threat is bad humans with strong AI tools. Yeah, we already have that. And it's like those people are like, you know, carving out like bunkers and stuff. So, but okay. Yeah, nothing bad ever happens. I forgot. There's always a happy ending. Okay, issue with that is and this is why I didn't become a massage therapist. My brother went to school for massage therapy, and I thought about it and I have some friends who did it, and so like, you know, it's a good industry, and I feel like it'll survive, and probably more so than others. Anything that's very human and interaction, like with humanity involved in like touch, that would be, you know, probably have more job security. What's up, Daryl? Yeah, I do think of it in the Jordan Peterson. I have a similar. I'm like a Tolstoy Christian. Okay, that's my new category for myself for the time being. Distinction. Have you considered that a fairy tale told by her? All right, people. Focus on the do. They probably will in a massive way, and like already there are pretty like advanced like massage tools, you know, as the dog knows with its auto blow and whatnot. But there is something you can't replicate, or actually perhaps you can, you know, perhaps you can replicate what it really feels like to touch another person, you know, because people are like touch starved. That's a thing. That's the thing that can affect people, and I think the touching aspect of it would be hard to replicate. But that's my little pea brain trying to understand it, you know. Who knows what an advanced intelligence would be capable of. True. Okay, yeah, I agree. It's as old as human, it never works. So you think AI, it's like a Y2K freak out all over again, like, oh no, like touch is just sensory phenomena that can be replicated with enough technology like Ex Machina. But there's also the hormones and pheromones and things that are intermingling that are just beyond the touch that, I don't know, perhaps could be replicated. I don't know.
The computer which controlled the machines, Skynet, sent 2 Terminators back through time. Their mission, to destroy the leader of the human resistance, John Connor, my son. The first Terminator was programmed to strike at me in the year 1984, before John was born. It failed. The second was set to strike at John himself when he was still a child.
I mean, you know, ultimately I'm going to do my own research and come to my own conclusions, but I do like hearing like in real time what people's thoughts are. I know that there is like the segment of people who think that this is just like when we went from horses to cars, and, you know, everyone's, I don't know what if they think, because the whole coding, everyone's going to be a coder thing. I don't think people believe that. Ask AI what, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. If I can trust it. I'm scared.
As before, the resistance was able to send a lone warrior, a protector for John. It was just a question of which one of them would reach him first.
crazy his whoa last name has the M word in it, basically. Exactly. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? And I get like some little, industry inside. One of my closest friends is a coder for Bloomberg. And it's true. Yeah. It's the software engineers. It's not as stable as it once was. There's still, market for it, but do I want to finish my education in a couple of years? I just don't think that. So, I mean, it's impossible to determine. So rather than be practical, I just follow my natural interest, but my natural interest wouldn't be lucrative in a career field unless I was like a professor. And I don't see that happening. All right, let me find my little playlist. I don't know why I have such an issue scrolling up and down on my playlist. It like drives me nuts. Here we go.
You've heard the warnings from godfathers of AI to Nobel.
Some people say, particularly some economists say, when you get a new technology, it always destroys some jobs and creates new jobs. So, for example, being a ditch digger is not a good occupation anymore now that we have backhoes. They're just better at digging ditches.
I don't like touching people. I don't know. I'm very squeamish, and that's why I didn't go to like hair school or like makeup school. Aside from like my motor skill issues, I can't imagine like just touching random people's heads. It could be like unwashed, and I'm very squeamish, and that's why I was never an IV user of fentanyl, because I'm just gross, just too squeamish.
Muscles aren't much value. But of course, those people can go off and do paperwork. But when you get super intelligent AI, it'll be able to do the paperwork much better. And there's not clear what job those people are going to do. So I believe that we're going to see fairly soon a massive loss of jobs. Mundane intellectual labor, like the things a paralegal does at a law firm, looking for similar cases.
I don't think I get by in life, people. Sorry, I'm a little eccentric, a little mentally ill, but I do get by, people. And I'm working my way up to being so functional that I can take on my parents, because I don't know that my younger brother is going to be, I don't know what he wants to do insofar as taking care of them. So I don't think his mind is really going there the way that mine is, but I'm the older sibling. So it makes sense. But that's a huge priority of mine, is getting to a place where I can take care of like my dad, who's had, health issues that are getting worse. And I'm doing rapid, trying to just catch up. Take the money you would spend on college and buy a small farm. Well, it would just be community college. I'm not, it's not expensive at all. And and buy a small, but I'm definitely going to buy land. That I'm going to do after this lease is up. I'm going to buy some kind of property. We just even have object permanence, though. Internal. I have too many conflicting internal monologues that just never, ever, ever stop. And it makes me feel crazy.
Or people in a call center who are badly paid and poorly trained and do their best to answer your questions, but aren't very good at it. And AI will do a much better job.
Right. And we could keep going on and think of so many examples throughout our labor market where there are routine, repetitive tasks that maybe a general purpose or even a narrow AI could do, let alone a super intelligence that is many times more powerful than us.
So it seems to me fairly clear that there will be massive job loss. Now, that job loss comes because we've got increased productivity, and that should be good for people.
But all we've seen as there's been huge increases in productivity and wealth, and the disparity just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We have the antichrist fucking Sam Altman. We got weirdo fucking Elon Musk. They're the ones who are steering right now.
In an ideal world, if you have increased productivity, everybody gets more goods and services. That should be great. But because of the system we live in, we know what's going to happen. That a lot of poor people will lose their jobs, and a lot of rich people will get even richer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be very bad for society.
So many economic and societal implications of replacing a lot of this work
The
that
thing is that like the number one thing that's most important to me is living near my family, and broadly like my social group is, you know, here or in New York. So I don't see any point at this point of like uprooting my whole life. I think I'm gonna stay in the general area and stay near the people I care about. It's like once you move far away, it changes the whole way you can interact with people, and you can lose touch. I've lost touch with a lot of people I was close with because they moved like across the country, you know, and that's part of life. But it's just my personal preference.
people find meaning in today and take an income out of. And just like wealth, the distribution of jobs and good paying jobs is going to be very, very unequal.
Yes. So you've hit on two things there. There's you need a job to get an income, but you also most people use their job to get self-respect. The job they do is who they are.
That's another huge fucking thing. We're already in like an absolute crisis of meaning between like the loss of specific roles and like families that used to be the, you know, building blocks of society. Everything's been rearranged, and then we decided God was dead, and here we are. Hallelujah.
Or a large part of who they are.
Misery.
And universal basic income will be necessary for a lot of people who lose their jobs. And it'll stop them starving. They'll be able to pay the rent. But it won't deal with the loss of self-respect by being unemployed. And
Right.
so I don't think universal basic income's a simple solution to everything. I think it'll be necessary, but not sufficient. There have actually been experiments in Britain that showed that it was very effective. And it was an experiment, I think it was done in Wales. I'm not sure of all the details. But what they did was they took orphans, people who grew up in orphanages, and got to the age of 18, and then they're kind of put out into the world. And a lot of them can't cope. And because it's a rather small number of people, you can afford to give them universal basic income. And people from other areas can't just move in and say, I'm an orphan, I should get it, because they're not. So that apparently worked extremely well. The people who were getting a reasonable universal basic income did much better negotiating the transition to being adult than people who weren't getting that. People just getting normal Social Security.
Right. And that.
All right. First poll, chat. What do you think? I'm curious. I remember back when it was like Andrew Yang, wasn't that his whole thing is the UBI? And it's like, I mean, it would be a lot more efficient than the way that we dispense government services now. But there's a lot of bloated bureaucracy. Life not looking that eventful for here. Well, Jeremy's guy he's back in the workforce now, you know. He's trying to do his thing. Doing a little streaming, little working. All right. I think yes, at this point, we will absolutely need a UBI. Let's see. Okay. So far, you disagree with me. Fuck you, chat. Fuck you. Stop disagreeing. I want to be affirmed.
Amplifying the news from that. And these are actually findings that have been echoed across quite a few studies as well, where if you give somebody some basic economic level of security.
Oh my God. Damius is so fucking deranged. This is my thoughts on that. I mean, I don't know if that's a real statement of fact or if you're joking, OPC, but I mean, I do think what he's doing is really gross. Just like trying to directly pay people to be like engaged in antisocial like behavior. I know there's a segment of the audience, you know, who likes that, like the Thorpe people, but I don't know, man. It seems incredibly depraved and depressing to me personally.
It gives them more negotiating power in the labor market. It gives them a little bit more ability and freedom to search for better work, or maybe to look for other ways to build their career or give back to society. Recently, we've seen a number of notable tech and AI leaders also come forward and talk about UBI, saying they support some form of it. Would you say that your understanding of the risks of joblessness is pretty common in the industry?
Yes, I think all the big AI companies are investing they're basically investing hundreds of billions of dollars in advancing AI. They wouldn't be doing that unless they thought there was a lot of money to be made. And the place there's a lot of money to be made is from increasing productivity. And what that really means is getting rid of people and having AIs replace them. Now, there's some industries where it's not a worry, like healthcare. If you could make doctors 10 times more efficient, we'd just get 10 times more healthcare. It's an elastic market. Old people like me can absorb any amount of healthcare. So it's not going to put doctors out of work to make them more efficient. But in other areas like call centers or paralegals, it's going to put people out of work, and it already is.
Right. It seems to be a very strong business case to be automating many types of work. Certainly not every occupation, but there is a huge segment of the labor market where the businesses and maybe the consultants have figured out this makes economic sense to automate.
Yes.
Right.
And it's not just going to be it's not just going to be relatively poor people. If I was a big consultancy firm that got paid lots of money for spending a month to write a report on something, I would be very worried about the fact you can now get AI to write the same report in 10 minutes.
And you can scale this out across every industry where intelligence is becoming commodified. Maybe one of the only exceptions I've seen in the tech space of a leader who has pushed back against this is your friend Jan LeCun, chief scientist at Meta, who says AI will cause major labor disruption, but there won't be mass unemployment. What would you say to him?
I don't believe him. I mean, some economists agree with him. And it's true that there have been previous things, like automatic teller machines didn't cause mass unemployment among bank clerks.
Was that recent, Vogue? One guy was paid to put his girlfriend outside in the balcony in freezing temperatures. She ended up dying from it. The whole thing was streamed. Yeah. Oh, God. I feel like that's... And this brings me... just the way humanity is moving makes me start thinking from the more like spiritual, biblical perspective. It is. I would agree. I would definitely agree. But I still, I'm kind of prepared for the worst, hope for the best, and just try to make smart choices based on the information we have. And I don't know.
But I think this is different because this can do all kinds of mundane intellectual labor. And I think it will cause massive unemployment. And the real problem is this. All those people who become unemployed, they used to pay taxes. They're no longer paying taxes. If you're going to have universal basic income, where's the money going to come from? And I think the money should come from somehow taxing the AIs that do their jobs. That will provide the money. But of course, the big companies are going to be very, very unhappy about taxing AIs.
That's right. There's certainly a lot of interest in UBI these days and a lot of questions on how...
I have actually many times because my dad worked in a mental hospital for most of my youth, but then one of his last jobs he had was working at a trade school and he was a recruiter. So I also considered going into low voltage electrician. I considered that route too, but it's also just like something that keeps my interest. And there are topics I've been like consistently interested in. But I think I would really struggle to motivate. And yeah, I don't know. I thought about it though. I do think that's often a smart move than like a generic, kind of like bachelor's degree. It doesn't get you as far as it once did.
Work. And the design space of it is so large. One of the number one questions, of course, is how do we fund this? Yeah. And to ground this in the real world and practical policy, it's often useful to think of it as two complementary models of basic income that already work today, and there are ways of funding it. There's what's called a guaranteed minimum income. Some call it a negative income tax or a livable income. And many benefit systems today, and our EI system actually has elements of it, which is it kicks in when you need it and it keeps you out of poverty. And these could be paid in any which way. It could be paid by tax dollars or other means. Well, of course, people do fall through. So advocates like UBI Works are pushing for a more broad-based guaranteed income measure to maintain a basic level of standard of living for everyone. And of course, this seems to be a clear policy option to help those who are displaced. And there's a second model of basic income, which is actually quite close to what you mentioned, Jeffrey, which is to see it as a dividend from some public or natural form of wealth. So you can think of sovereign wealth funds or carbon dividends are a very good example. There's growing interest in the idea of AI dividends. And there's already very strong precedents around the world. Alaska and Norway both have sovereign wealth funds that pay their citizens directly. In Norway's case, their pensions. And there's certainly calls to adopt similar models here in Canada. But in fact, some people have actually called for sovereign wealth funds and dividends precisely as an answer to AI, including people like Sam Altman. And so you can imagine a public national fund that holds shares of the biggest companies, and it could collect revenue from land through something like a land value tax. And this is because that's where wealth is going to increasingly concentrate as we automate more sectors of our economy, the biggest companies and land. And this is, in one way of thinking of it, could be a proxy of giving everybody a economic stake in the upside of AI without handpicking and taxing a certain sector or a certain company.
All right, this clip is getting a little boring. I think we get it. I like him. He's done like good commentary, and he was an early computer scientist.
You're so fucked up.
No, I actually don't know much about Review Tech USA, so this caught my interest, and it's like not, so I'm a little curious about that, but I'm also.
Go ahead and shoot someone that shows up to your fucking door.
I will.
That's all right.
He's the guy who will.
Yeah,
So what
he's
else?
Tough, bro.
So what else?
I think this might have been the biggest L he ever took, to be honest. This was amazing. It was beautiful.
Yeah, guys, please check out this guy, guys. Go subscribe to him. Mikey No More. This guy, 7.5K
He's got some
subs.
really good doc.
This is criminal.
Go in there. And it's crazy because he's got some good. Do was just do nothing and he wouldn't suffer this L. Which he basically was at the time anyway. He was barely streaming. It was like once a week at best, like taking weeks off at a time because he didn't want there to be clippable moments. Even though as soon as he did come back, there always were clippable moments because he was always getting baited and crashing out anyway. All he had to do was just not delete the channel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
Just sit there, turtle up in his parents' basement bunker for the winter, ride it out, and then come back and post on his channel. That's all he had to do. But he just buckled, as he says.
With his hat.
He buckled, move. Buddy, there's no way this motherfucker's moving in silence with how heavily he breathes. There's no one that.
Sorry, I need some trash too.
So about a week ago, I was on a little live stream, and I was with my husband, and we're doing a scavenger hunt in Austin, Texas. During the scavenger hunt, I thought that it was really poorly planned out. The clues were stupid, and I thought that I gave some pretty salient advice. And I felt that me and Ice were equals. It doesn't matter that you're putting on something. I'm not going to act beneath you because you're someone putting on a content that we get to participate in.
True. A lot of the bigger content creators, they need like full submission and like this idea that they can just give and take away like clout, and it's very controlling and weird, and I don't know, it's just little peculiarities.
Because it's a symbiotic relationship where your content is because we're here and you're using.
Yeah, it's like if you have no one, a lot like, people like Ice Poseidon, their content is like all about all of these other characters and people that do it. And without that, what would he have? You know, it's like there's no gratitude and there's no sense of, yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship. It's not just like someone doing you a solid by letting you like collaborate with them. I feel like it's a collaboration of two creators, you know?
Your platform to give us the space, right? So nobody's above anyone. You might make the most money on it, but what does that mean really, right? So I said, hey, I think you maybe thought in theory some of these clues were a good idea, but we're going to need some hints because they're pretty convoluted. And I think that you talk a lot about how smart you are, but you obviously weren't smart enough to make them workable for us. Every single thing I said ended up being correct. Every single bit of critique I had ended up being completely correct. And yet he kept saying that I was an idiot. And he especially kept saying that my husband was an idiot. Acknowledged that me and my husband were fighting about his gambling addiction, still put stake chess by him, still tried to bait him, would put chess down. And then when my husband would get rid of them or move them, was sort of repeatedly boasting about how his money made him better than everyone. And so I thought, you know what would kill this guy? If the man who he's calling a loser and beneath him could get what he has, that would kill him. And you know what? I actually have some information on this particular thing. And it's that my husband 3 years ago had sex with your girlfriend when he had nothing, when he didn't even have a mattress in his room. So what is all your millions worth, really?
I mean, what
is it all worth?
Absolute annihilation to someone like Ice Poseidon, who would like really care about like that kind of stuff, especially. And I'm sure there are a lot of guys who there aren't like, you know, these Chad guys, but they found a lot of success online. So they don't get that Chad confidence just because they got that Chad level success. They're still insecure, they have imposter syndrome, and they're afraid of being found out, you know, to be just like a dork and not actually like this, you know, person they claim to be.
Really. Flash forward, people are very mad. Thank you for the follow. People are very mad. I'm trying to word carefully because I know that even though there aren't a lot of people watching right now, this will get clipped. And I know that I am an extension of my husband. And so I have to behave. Ho's mad for what? And everyone was like, this is the take. This is what I think the take is. It does not matter that Kimmy has had sex with other people than Paul. We are all adults. None of us has had sex with just one person. Not one person in this scenario has had sex with just our partner. But I knew it would really hurt Ice Poseidon because of who he is and because of his ego to say it. I did not think it was that big of a deal. I thought he'd get a huge ego hit and then be like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna choke. I thought he was gonna choke up. I thought it was a gotcha moment. And yes, I do think Kimmy's a slut. That's okay. That's okay. I wouldn't even have sex with my husband when he was living like that. And I didn't. I made him wait for 2 years. But if that's her gig, do your thing. And Ice just has to love her through it. My husband is a huge, and I love him through it. And I love him through it. Here's why I did not care to use Kimmy. And this is why I didn't care that Kimmy was...
Just so people know, someone was speculating that the person who sent me $1,000 on Venmo randomly it wasn't Stevie, because it's someone else. Their name is Kevin. They're in chat. They leave comments. I don't want to say their like last name or anything, but it was definitely not Stevie. And yeah, we've spoken behind the scenes just a little bit. I just want some time and space. That's it. Yeah, time and space. I don't know if he's just like on board with like the kind of content I want to do. He just kind of felt like a hater, and then the whole whisper thing, and then I don't know, and then like being jealous of their guys. It seemed like just was a bit much for me.
Collateral. Kimmy is the weirdest bitch I've ever met in my life. Let me bring you back 3 years. I joined Twitch. I blow up. I'm already in a relationship while I'm on Twitch with my ex-husband. I meet Tim on a John Zerka Royale. At this point, he already knew Kimmy. I think they'd met a couple weeks or a month or a couple months prior. They had not met in person yet. They had not done anything in person yet. I don't even think they were actually even flirting much at this point. When me and Tim meet, Ominous Thunder, yes. When me and Tim meet, immediate spark. Immediate spark. I think that everyone could tell on the live stream that there was something there.
Yeah. I mean, I sensed that maybe there was other kinds of feelings that weren't reciprocated, and I don't know. It was just like a vibe, and then the whisper thing was just absolutely crazy to me. So I don't even know what to make of it all, honestly. Stevie was jealous of Dita.
At that point, I was in a monogamous relationship with someone else, but it turned my world upside down.
This is Lav Loon. She's a content creator. Actually, I have a little infographic on her because I covered her before. Let me pull it up. Who is she? Lav Loon, age 27, singer, provocateur, and that's her husband. They were involved in all this drama.
My relationship then became open from that point on. I did not meet Tim at this point because of who he was with his life. In his life, Tim kept telling me, come out, come out, come out. He kept saying, fly yourself to me. I said, you're not even going to fly me out? Yeah, no, I'm not. If you don't even have enough money to fly me out, no, I'm not coming to see you. No. Come out, come out, come out. Oh my God, the thunder is so scary. The thunder is so scary. Free spins, shut up. I said, no, there's under no circumstances am I coming to you. But I did feel something. So I said, listen, what does this have to do with Kimmy though? Burner, just you wait. Because the second I said, Tim, I just want to be friends. Guess who rents a U-Haul?
I don't think she said slurs. I'm pretty sure if I recall correctly, she just made an edgy joke because like, I forget. I think like Wings was repeating something someone said that was interpreted as racist about like Black people being inferior, and she was like, well, aren't they? Like as an obvious like joke of like being kind of like ironically racist. Dude, you guys, that's just the dorkiest back and forth.
Guess who posts about the U-Haul trip on his story so that I could see it? Guess. I'll give you 3 guesses. Daniel, you are absolutely correct. It was Tim. Yeah. Guess who then for weeks afterwards, while he was fucking her, would talk about me and ask where I was on live streams and say that we should fight each other on live streams? I'll give you another guess who it was. It was Tim. At this point, me and Tim were broken up. We did not have a relationship. We knew that there was a spark there, but we could not go there. I was in a relationship with someone else. He was also literally in a relationship with someone else back at home. Was talking to his whole roster. I was not involved. I was in a different state, had never met up with him. All I knew is that I had several phone calls with someone who I thought that I had very strong chemistry with, very strong feelings for in a little amount of time, and it scared me a lot. And I got cold feet. And I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to change my life, especially, and I wasn't about to go blow up my life for a man who didn't even have a mattress in his room. So Tim and Kimmy commenced their relationship. I was not involved whatsoever, besides the occasional Tim trying to bring me into it by trying desperately to pin me and Kimmy against each other, of which we never did, by the way. Let me be so clear. There was never any beef with me and Kimmy. Literally ever. Where's the Giga Chad emote? Tim, get out of here. There was literally never beef between me and Kimmy. In fact, and this is why, and this is not, okay, this is why I'm the first interaction I had with Kimmy, even while Tim was trying to sow destruction between us. Is this a Tim expose story or a scavenger hunt story? I'm giving you background. On why I did not care that Kimmy was collateral and why I don't care about her feelings of when I leaked the information to ICE to hurt him. I'm telling you why I do not care about Kimmy. And why I think she's a psychopath. Sorry, I would never use a word like I'm a girl's girl. Why she's a little off her rocker and weird. Why she's a little weird. Where was I in the story? Holy fuck. I feel like most of us knew about this stuff. I don't know. LOL, fair enough. Yes, because Tim made it extremely public. And Tim made his relationship with me so public that I had to stop talking to him because I was like, you are going to get me in trouble. I have a relationship. And so I had to leave. Why'd you delete the 10 VODs from earlier today? Because my internet was cutting out so bad. I just wanted to save the story, interact, and then leave. You just wanted to hurt Kim. Let's be real. I'm not done with the story. Okay. Kimmy texted me while me and Tim weren't even talking anymore. They had their relationship. I guess it lasted a few months, and then they just stopped on their own. It wasn't, someone said that I stole Tim from Kimmy. I didn't. Their relationship ran its course before she even got back with Tim. They stopped sleeping with each other.
It looks a little like blurry, but I don't know if that's a filter. I think I've seen her like on other people's videos. I think she's very pretty. So I don't know that she even really needs any if she has one on.
For months and months before that is what I know, is what Tim has told me and what I understand to be the truth. Their relationship ran its course without any involvement from anyone else. Again, I was with someone else. This is its own thing that I was not privy to. This story gets so weird. I'm having drama with a streamer named Destiny. You might have heard of him. Kimmy texts me and is like, I just want to let you, extremely sweet, and was like, oh, I just want to let you know, like, keep your head up. You know, I'm sorry that you're getting as much hate as you are. Just like a very sweet message. I don't remember responding or not because I was getting so much hate that I just went offline. Anyway, that was the...
Yes, that's exactly it. Pixie said, yeah, she didn't say a slur. Wings said, Mormons think blacks are inferior, or used to think that. And Lav said, well, that's true. And yeah, she was joking with dry humor. They thought she wasn't joking, which makes sense. They didn't know how to interact with me and were very confused by me as well. And I also sometimes am a little dry in my jokes and delivery, and I say a lot of just kind of things hyperbolically, that people take us like a literal, you know, they think that, I don't know what they think.
Extent of my interactions with Kimmy up until DreamHack of this year. When I got together with Tim last year, Domri, thank you. When I got together with Tim last year, him and Kimmy were still friends. There was no weird relationship with each other. They still texted once in a while about normal stuff. Like Tim messaged her to like not kill herself when she got her nose job. Kimmy had whatever. Kimmy had also texted him, and this goes into the story at a later date. Kimmy had also texted him why it's not fair that I don't get to move in, and I'll tell you about the story about that later. I'm getting so convoluted in this story because it gets so weird. Okay, at DreamHack, Kimmy's there. I'm thinking nothing of it. I've been in multiple situations at this point where I have to be around women that Tim has had sex with, or that Tim has had a thing with at this point. She was not the only one there. She was not the only one at DreamHack that Tim had a relationship with. There was no, I'm an adult. He's an adult. I was not looking to start a fight. Everyone else is being really friendly. And Kimmy keeps making weird faces at both of us. Doesn't come up to introduce Tim, which at this point is weird because they're friends. They're friends. Like, there's nothing weird happening. So Tim is like, that's weird that she didn't come up to me. She keeps giving me weird looks. Yes. She keeps giving me weird looks. Ashrio, who's in chat right now, made a bad joke about Kimmy's nose or whatever, so she's going psycho about that too. She has her own shit to deal with. So I'm thinking maybe it's not me. There's no reality in which I'm thinking me and Kimmy have beef right now. Me and Kimmy are going to fight. What I did think was, oh, maybe she thinks that I'm weird because I know that they used to have a relationship. So I should go up to her and I should be the first one to extend myself as like, hey, I'm Leah, whatever. So I go up to Kimmy at DreamHack and I'm like, hey, I'm Leah. I wanted to formally introduce myself because I'm like, oh, maybe she's giving me dirty looks and didn't come up to Tim because she thinks that I'm weird or something. I go up to her and I'm like, hi, I'm Leah. I wanted to formally meet you and say hello. I just wanted to let you know that I haven't forgotten about that message you sent me about Destiny and the Destiny drama 2-3 years ago. It meant a lot to me, and I wanted to let you know that it was a very sweet message and you didn't have to do that. And she, first of all, I'm looking up at her saying this because I'm 5'1" and she's 6'11". She's like a WNBA player, and I'm a rat in high heel shoes looking up at her. And she looks down at me and is like, okay, and immediately I'm like, what's going on? But then I'm like, oh, this isn't me. This has got to be the Eshrio thing. So she's like, okay, and then I'm like anxiety talking like, and I don't think Eshrio, I'm literally doing it. Kimmy is above me right now. Eshrio, I don't think meant it. I'm sorry that you saw that. Like, there's nothing, like, nobody thinks there's anything wrong with your nose. You're still beautiful, whatever. Eshrio Keshin strays in the chat. Yeah, he is. Because he's the reason for all of this. And she gets really defensive. So I'm like, okay, that was the wrong move also. I'm in a minefield in this conversation. I'm literally in a minefield in this conversation.
Thank you, Edward, for the $1. I will unban you, I guess.
I'm like, okay.
I just don't understand him or his presence online at all. I find it disturbing and strange, and he struggles socially.
I keep making wrong moves. She gets defensive and like, I don't even care. It's just, I didn't even care about it. I thought me and him were friends. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure that you guys still are friends. He makes jokes with me all the time. He calls me a G all the time. You know, I mean,
was she going hard on OnlyFans girls specifically, or the sex industry? Because I honestly relate to having had my feelings shift on it, but like in the inverse way, where I used to debate sex positive feminism and OnlyFans, and well, now I don't really care to debate anymore. This is a script. I don't think it's a script, actually. I think that there are real human dramas that happen to people, and it's shared. I don't know if we need the entire backstory. What else do I have here? It is a lot. And I think I knew basically the gist of that. Do true crime or AI, what science says about a future with AI. Let's see.
There are 3 possible worlds inside these envelopes. 3 outcomes of how your pay stub could look 10 years from now. There's a world where you're
Howard, thank you for the $10, Edward. He says, let me see it. I don't know why my Cash App is being crazy. Can you unban me, please? And then he said, thank you, Ruby. Hope you're well. You look good. I appreciate that. I still think you're totally bizarre, but I will consider unblocking you. I don't know why I struggle with the unblocking, because sometimes it's blocked in my Google contacts. So I looked at that. I only have like, I don't know, some ZXV accounts banned right now. So it's somewhere else that I need to find, and I'm very lazy.
not only making more money, but working less, maybe 2 days a week, and life is good and chill. But there's another scenario. There's one where you're not needed at all, where the AI can take over, so why pay you anything? 300 million full-time jobs are exposed to automation. 40% of global jobs are going to be touched by AI, and that's even worse in advanced economies than in low-income countries. By 2035, AI will either make you richer or trap you in some gig work hell, or even shove you completely out of the workforce. So let's open the envelopes. What kind of future are we building?
We may need to lower your standard. What are you fucking talking about? My ex lived with his parents and worked in a restaurant. Where are the standards?
If you're a white-collar worker, there's a good chance.
Oh my god, I only get bots! I literally only get bots on Kick. It's so annoying. Yelling at a bot.
Implemented some form of AI already, but this AI is shit compared to what we would have in 2035. As you open your laptop for work, your email has been processed. The junk is gone. Cold emails gone, easy replies answered and summarized. Your assistant has already replied to everything except for those really important 4 or 5 emails that absolutely need your human decision making. Your calendar has been rearranged contextually, prioritizing what's most important, your focus time as well. Every tedious task that you have to do today is gone. It's taken care of. An AI that's built in your image is interacting with other people's assistants, not just to coordinate your meetings, but to agree on pipelines, to ask simple questions about work, to fill in those details. This is the World Economic Forum's estimate for the number of tasks that will be automated. Notice how there's this human tech collaboration category that's bound to grow, along with tasks performed just by tech. And much fewer tasks end up in humans. Middle management in this world is gone. We essentially have companies with high-level execs that make educated decisions based on tons of data that has been pre-chewed by the AIs, and deep workers who are highly specialized in those tasks that AI can't replace, creativity, advanced coding, which are also AI assisted, but still led very much by humans. Workplace productivity has increased to a point where you only need 30 instead of 40 hours to get your work done. So you have much shorter days, maybe 4-day work weeks, maybe even less than that.
You know, what will jobs be like? Should we, just work like 2 or 3 days a week?
At the same time, though, new roles have been created. We still need humans to audit these AI automations, to improve on them based on data and on the human touch. In 2035, it's common to find job titles such as AI ethicist or algorithm bias auditor or machine psychologist expert in these large organizations. The 2025 Future of Jobs reports estimates that by 2030, 170 million jobs are projected to be created, while 92 million jobs are projected to be destroyed. But that's still a net of 78 million new
Yeah, if
jobs.
anyone prefers Kick, I just don't know how to get any motion there. I mean, I don't really understand how to get motion on YouTube sometimes. So.
Every major tech transformation, the industrial revolution, the personal computer, the internet, it's eliminated millions of jobs, but at the same time, created millions more. So why should this generation of technology be different? Because we have all this free time now, we are living on this spring of coffee shops and restaurants and physical places where people can spend all that new earned free time. Corporate middle management is no longer a trap. Entrepreneurs are able to pursue their passions across physical or digital spaces. A subset of people maybe still appreciate this non-AI assisted crafts, which have now become a premium. So those who resist change can still pursue those passions. And these human touch.
Rollers, click the U button below the top right. Well, I use StreamYard. I'm in StreamYard right now. I'm not in the YouTube app, and but I could see. I don't care to find out. I don't care, Edward. I'll figure it out later. Okay. Tissues for the LC. Everyone's a crybaby. Schizo, lockout and chill. IQ is everything. IQ black pillow.
Sam Altman specifically, who is he? What's his background? How does this guy who nobody's heard of become the CEO of a company which today is, it's almost more valuable than any company in Europe, for instance?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would be the argument, and a lot of people in my chat are on that side that they that it could just be another like Y2K hysteria or whatever, the last, technological big breakthroughs and revolutions. I think it's going to play out differently, but I hope I would like to have a more hopeful outlook. So I appreciate it.
Altman he's spent his entire career in Silicon Valley. He was first a startup founder himself, and he was part of the first batch of companies that joined Y Combinator, one of the most prestigious startup accelerators in Silicon Valley. But at the time, he was the very first class, and no one really knew what YC was. He did that for 7 years. He was running a company called Looped, which was a mobile-based social media platform, effectively a Foursquare competitor, but which actually started earlier than Foursquare. It didn't do very well. It was sold off for parts. But what he did do very well during that time was ingratiate himself with very powerful networks in Silicon Valley. So one of the first and longest mentors that he ended up having throughout his career is Paul Graham, the founder of Y Combinator, who then plucked Sam Altman to be his successor. And Sam Altman then, at a very young age, became president of YC. And then he ended up doing that for around 5 years. And
Edward said, don't stress about it. Don't forget me. I love you. I don't know why I'm so pathologically lazy.
During his tenure at YC, he dramatically expanded YC's portfolio of companies. He started investing not just in software companies, but also pushing into quantum, into self-driving cars, into fusion, and really going for those hard tech engineering challenges. And if you look at how he ended up then as a CEO of OpenAI, I think that he basically was trying to figure out what is going to be the next big technology wave. Let me test out all of these different things, position myself as involved in all of these different things. So in addition to all his investments, he started cultivating this idea of AI also seems like maybe it'll be big. Let me start working on an idea for a fundamental AI research lab that becomes OpenAI. And once OpenAI started being the fastest one taking off, then Altman hops over and becomes CEO.
He hops over. So how does that happen? Where does he come from? Because like you say, originally it's got people like, he's there. Who's there first, him or Ilya Sutskever?
Technically, Altman recruited Sutskever,
Right.
but Altman was only a chairman. He didn't take an executive role at OpenAI, even though he founded the company.
Right.
And similarly with Musk, Musk didn't have an executive role. He was just a co-chairman. So it was just the two of them that were chairman of the board. And Ilya Sutskever and Greg Bachman were the main people, the main executives that were actually running the company day to day in the beginning.
I mean, I have to say, reading the book, Sam Altman, he comes across as a master manipulator, like masterful manipulator and understander of human psychology. There's this great quote, let me get it up, which you have, I think it's from Paul Graham. Sam Altman has it. You could parachute him into an island full of cannibals and come back in 5 years and he'd be the king. If you're Sam Altman, you don't have to be profitable to convey to investors that you'll succeed with or without them. I mean, he just sounds like he's also described, by the way, as a once in a generation fundraising talent. I think that's by you.
Yeah.
How is he able to just basically come out of nowhere and compete with people like Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, as this kind of intellectual heavyweight in Silicon Valley in regards to one of the major growth technologies of our decade?
So from the public's perspective, he came out of nowhere, but within the tech industry, everyone knew Sam Altman. You know, like I as someone who worked in tech, like I knew Sam Altman ages ago because Y Combinator was just so important. It was
as a CEO of a potential company that valuable, was it always something that he might be in?
No, I don't think people ever thought that he would jump to become the CEO of a company because he has such an investor mindset, and his approach has always been to be involved in many, many companies. I mean, he invested in hundreds of startups as both the president of YC and running some personal investment funds as well. But people.
Edward, thank you for the $5. That distinction is cool. Jeremy is a dick. Well, I think we can all agree that they're both horrible, bad people.
He was well respected within the Valley. He was seen as a critical linchpin of the entire startup ecosystem, and not just by people within the industry, but by policymakers, which is key. He started cultivating relationships with politicians very, very early on in his tenure as the president of YC. And for example, I talk in my book about how Ash Carter, the head of the Department of Defense under the Obama administration, came to Altman asking, how can we get more young tech entrepreneurs to partner with the US government? So he was seen as a gateway into the Valley. And obviously the Valley isn't just made of startups. There's also the tech giants. But back then, like starting a startup was way cooler than working at a tech giant, because Google, Microsoft, they were considered the older, safer options if you really wanted job security. But if you wanted to be an innovator, if you wanted to do breathtaking things, you would build a startup. And then your number one goal as a startup founder was to get into YC. So Altman was the pinnacle. He was emblematic of the pinnacle of success in the Valley.
And he, even if his net worth wasn't the same as other people in terms of his social capital, his networking, he understood early on that's where the real value lies.
Exactly.
So interesting. I mean, some notes that I wrote down, because there are points where I'm thinking, why on earth is this gentleman the CEO of such a valuable company? He seems kind of useless. And the notes I had down were people pleaser.
Yes.
Liar. Conflict averse. How'd you become the CEO of such a successful company? Maybe you think that or don't think that. I don't know. I mean, at points it comes across as almost psychotic, the capacity to lie. Here's an interesting question for me, and I don't know how comfortable you are with answering it. In writing this book, there's another alternative timeline where you basically write a hagiography of Sam Altman. And you leave all of that out, right? There are other writers out there. I won't name them. They sell a ton of books and they write very positive, affirming biographies.
I'm just going to have cinnamon. I'll let this play.
Of these visionary leaders, whether it's Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, etc. Why didn't you just write that book about Sam Altman? You know, you would have made a ton more money, right? But I'm reading this stuff and I'm thinking, my goodness, and it's so deft and nuanced. Your portrait of Sam Altman. I just think the guy. I mean, this is going to really hurt him when he reads this stuff, I imagine. Why didn't you do that? Take the easy route.
I don't know that would have been the easy route. I mean, I just wrote the facts and the facts come out that way. You know, like I interviewed over 260 people across 300 different interviews, and over 150 of those interviews were with people who either worked at the company or were close to Sam Altman, and that's just what they presented.
Look who it is. Hey, baby. Precious baby. This little bedding. Wait, is this OPC? Are you using like are you going between your account and the Lolcow Rejects account? Are you using both? Or is one of them Jim? Do you want to say hi to the chat? Do you want to say hi? Hi, everyone. Oh, are you feeling shy? He's feeling shy. Jesus, I can't get comfortable. My little baby. Oh. I just wanted to say hi before I go to work. I do have to go to work in like 20 minutes. Last hour flew by. Cinnamon is great. He is my companion, my protector, my baby. A rodent can be a baby. Hi. He's just funny. Some big balls. They're not as big as they were. I think like when I got him, it's like breeding season or something. So they were just like, were whatever. I don't really like talking about him in those terms. You want to go look at the hamster? This is little. Start winding it down because I gotta skedaddle.
Holy God! What are you showing me? His head. Come on.
We'll play like a
it's a compliment.
So apparently this guy who goes by the name of Dad, which is odd. I don't really get it. He's was a part of the Lolcow world. I do think it's cool. He has like an aesthetic, so he's bringing some visual action, but I didn't really get to see much of his participation. But apparently he quit because he was kind of more SJWE and realized that that's not really gonna work in the Lolcow universe.
Okay, so it's a bunch of stuff.
We don't have to play the whole thing. We can just pull up a little bit and play some of it.
So the reason we're watching this is because this is one of the guys, the main host of the main show of the Lolcow network, Wings. And it was him, Keem, and Boogie were the hosts, and then he got kicked off the show because he body slammed his wife. This is all I know about this guy.
He assaulted Keemstar and then slammed his wife. Yeah. Just trolling, and he's just like, I'm just trying to make my money.
It's funny, there are like these new like random people spinning in and out of like the Lolcow universe, and it's like, did you even look up like the he's like, yeah, apparently Wing like body slammed his wife or something.
Well, when he says some of the worst words he can say, what does he expect people to celebrate him? Which is also weird. Like, why is he the host of like the main show of this network?
Because this is the LCU. Like, it's a place for Lolcows.
So we reward bad behavior and being harmful to other people.
Yes, that's quite literally how that whole universe operates. Yes, he's getting it.
Well, at the beginning of the show, there were a lot of punishments where Keem was actively punishing them to try to make them like better. Did it work?
But they still did the thing that was bad, and now we're just like, oh, we don't care anymore because we laugh at you. Hee hee. Okay, all right. I don't really agree with it, but that's not me. I'm not here to.
Well, how do you feel about forgiveness as a whole?
I do feel forgiveness, but I'm not going to actively like then try to make money off of this person and like join in on them and associate alongside them. You know, I feel like yes, people make mistakes for sure, and I don't think you should hold people depending on what it is, how severe it is. Don't hold it to them forever. Everyone screws up, but like to then go and make a whole business based off this person, it seems
that's what the business you're in.
Yeah.
It's from the top. It's from the top down.
I'm like questioning it honestly, genuinely, lately, today mostly. It's just.
What are your concerns?
Literally everything, every word that comes out of most people's mouths over here.
There's
I don't align myself with the R word ever, the F word, the N word, and all of them have been said very recently.
Bro doesn't say the R word, but joined the lolcow universe.
So it's just hard for
my
me
second day as a host, Zeta Ray came up here and called called Nightmare the F slur twice in a row. I had to fucking take the VOD down.
Like this is the thing. Like, why is it? I guess because Keem's just like, it makes money.
Are you serious? She was doxxed yesterday. Why would he fire her for getting doxxed? I don't get that. And I guess I don't get a lot about that universe. That's on brand.
Gotta keep doing it. And like, I don't know. I'm not trying to come here to be this high and mighty guy. That's not all I'm trying to do. I'm just, my genuine normal reactions to things that are being said to me are coming out of my mouth live on camera. And I'm not trying to tell people what to do, but this is just how I feel on these things, this information.
And the idea was there's these guys that have been streaming their whole lives.
Really? What's his backstory? I don't know anything about him. Hi. Also, how would you guys define like clout goblin? Is that someone who just like is just in the game for the clout and like will do anything for it?
Still streaming right now, and the hating troll communities that make fun of these guys get more views and make more money than them. Why not just band together, pull them together, and at least they're making money off of their content again instead of their haters and trolls?
Well, has Wings ever like publicly apologized for saying that word? You know, has he ever like actively tried to like repair the harm he's done to some people that may have heard that maybe that would affect them? Because if they are someone that word might be used against, maybe that hearing that made them feel bad about themselves. Like, has he ever done that?
I don't know all of the Wings lore. I don't see Wings apologize very often, so I don't know what he's apologized from that. And I just wanted you to know, he is here, but Wings is definitely getting hate all the time. He's got haters. They get hate donos in general.
That doesn't make it even. Oh, you're a horrible person.
I know it doesn't make it better.
We'll make fun of you, and then you can get rich. But the guy's like laughing his way to the bank by being a bad person. I don't enjoy rewarding.
Yeah, now you're perceptive.
That's his job on the show, is to sort of just be an asshole and shit talk and be mean to people, and say off the wall things. Woke house, Dad.
But isn't that the point, to like not become that and come out, dig yourself out of the ditch and redeem yourself and start making things you're proud of?
If they could do that, they wouldn't be lolcows, is the point.
But the fact that they've acknowledged, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm a lolcow. I'm joining this network. That alone should then make you go, how do I change this? But it seems like, oh, I'm okay with being looked at negatively and perpetuating and continuing this bad behavior because it's making me money. So it feels that they are just saying, yeah, I'm crappy. Screw you. It's cool. Give me your money. They're not trying to like change as a person.
Right. Because they're lolcows. This is like a weird circular
it's like,
thing
yeah,
that
it's
you're
very,
not getting
it
right
is.
now.
And it's like
they were content creators. Laugh my ass off. Universe sounds way worse than it is, in my opinion. So if you didn't know that, they do charity work.
Who does?
Wings.
This universe is great.
Wings and his wife.
They
Kelly.
do.
Kelly has.
I'm gonna go put cinnamon back, and we're going to take this show on the road, people. Okay. It's been a very scattered, all over the place stream, lots of different topics, but I do have to go to work. I have to go to work. I know. So say bye, Cinnamon. Bye, everyone. But I'm not leaving quite yet. We're just going to switch over to my phone. Hi, baby. You're a cutie. That's my little baby. My little baby, maybe. Hey, what's up, Susan? Yeah, he was being a little skittish. He looked like he just wanted to go back in his little nest area and feel safe. Cinnamon's going to keep an eye on the house while I go get that money so we can keep getting those carrots, keep getting that fresh fluff. Oh, yeah. Let me try this on my phone. Yo, watch your man. Watch your mouth. You know what I am about? I am the champ. I'm trying to remove. All right, removable. Dude, the bangs are just stepping not okay. Need a little echo of myself. Let's go fix the hair situation, finish getting ready for work. Have you considered singing? Your voice would be good for it. Thank you. I did. I was a musician for like all of my 20s, so I sang and played guitar and bass in different bands. But towards the end of my music career, I preferred to play drums and be kind of like more in the background because I used to get terrible like stage fright. And when you're playing drums, you're just your whole body is the instrument, so you're not thinking like, oh, am I like bopping correctly right now? Like, are people judging how I'm bopping? Wait, let me get my cup so I can get some water in a glass. Oh, we're moving up in the world. Uh-oh. Hey. Oh, here we go. This is my current daily hat. I did really like the Elvira hat, but I can't wear that anymore because apparently that means signaling something. You're anti-clout. They all got a problem. Main reason I like drums was that, and you get into it the whole time. Exactly. And it's just fucking satisfying. Oh, I miss it. I rarely have the impulse to like play guitar anymore, but I do miss playing drums a lot. Super fun. But I don't even know if I just have bits and pieces of my kit left. I have like a floor tom and like a snare. I don't even know, honestly, but I wouldn't be able to practice here anyway. Oh, I still have my kick drum. Yeah, actually, honestly, that's not for some cymbals in there. I almost actually do. Still have a full kit right now. But I obviously can't practice in my apartment. Music is cringe. Aspiring to be a professional singer is cringe. Jeremy, let's hear you record something. Only when I'm looking. Well, I guess I don't really need to fix my hair because I'm wearing this, and I already brushed my teeth, so now it's just about going outside. Getting outside. I'll just go to the bathroom at work. Just pile some more makeup on the face. Try to fix the visual. The bangs are just never right. I need to like cut them or grow them out or something. They just drive me insane at this point. Should I just grow them out? But like, I don't know. I think we need like a hair change. I don't know, whatever. It's just tempted to wear my slippers again, but I wish there was a shoe store downtown. Really? Let's wear sandals. It's at least the official shoe. Jeremy's basic. Thank you for the $1.99, Mr. Ann. Is that a piece of bacon? Speaking of, they put freaking bacon on my avocado toast at Dunkin' today. Can you believe that? I just picked it off, but it was like disgusting. Just thinking, ugh, it's so gross to me. Ugh. I don't even know how I was eating dairy as recently as like 4 months ago. It's now so repulsive to me. No interest. Super gross. The goal of True. Jeremy is a anti-life self-saboteur. The goal of any artist or anarchist should be an emo reaction or an emotional reaction. True. Should evoke something. But yeah, that was a big part of my life, and I enjoy YouTube. Is like, you know, scratches somewhat of that itch for creation and creativity, but it's definitely not the same. But I'm also like, I'm old and I'm tired, and for me, playing music was very heavily associated with like also partying and doing drugs, and I just, nothing is worth risking going back to that life for me. Nothing at all. I guess I have cigarettes. Remember to bring a jacket this time. Oh, I would love a cute little friendship arc between Mystery Man and Jeremy. That would be cool. I'm into that. All right, let's do a little visual check. This is the look. 'Tis the season of jackets. I'm a jacket bitch. I love a jacket. Okay, we've got the jean jacket and black jean pants, but these are a size 4, so obviously they're hanging off of me. Giant. Sorry. I hate myself. I'm terrible. I apologize for exposing you all to me. It's a holiday in Cambodia. Don't forget to pack your wife. Now I'm just kind of like stalling, thinking what I need to bring to work with me. All right. I'm going to turn off my air purifier, which works overtime. As if that like stops the smoke damage. Oh, medication. Medicate me, baby. Take medicine 3 times a day so I don't go crazy. I got these lights. Some Halloweeny kind of like seasonal looking lights. Not after last time. What time is it where you are, Susan? It's like almost, well, 3:43, so I'm gonna get a head start on work so I can just walk around for a little before we get there. I'll just do a little walk and talk for 10 minutes. I don't know. I always feel I'm forgetting something important. I don't. Bring a charger. Let's see, bring my portable charger. AKA the weapon. Jeez Louise. What a month. It's been a weird month, people. Ready for the next thing, the next whatever. And the next whatever is looking like PronCon. I just want a bitch to go with me. So I don't know where my bitch is at. Lo is in, but now I think she's out. Ava is starting school. Maybe Dalish potentially, I think, expressed interest. Kel. That would be, oh, I didn't get to meet Kel, so that would be super fun. All right, walking out of the house. Quiet as a mouse. I'm just gonna bring my current book instead of reading a different book there, because I still haven't finished this. I've been like, I'll read some of this and I bounce to like a different book because they hit different things. Like sometimes I'm reading for like, you know, a spiritual purpose and feel like connected with like a higher principle or power. Other times I'm reading like for educational purposes. So it scratches different itches. But I just want to finish this. Since I've been really into it, I'll finish it at work. So bitches on short supply, sorry. Yeah, we need to, maybe I should do some like bitch outreach. You know how I did like panel star search? Maybe I should do like, who's the next prey for the methadone predator to go suck the youth out of. All right, I'm absolutely walking outside. Oh. Should I smoke weed? Just don't even know what's in my bag right now. Oh my god. Lighters. I guess this is weed. I have like all these just like nearly dead weed pens around. Like this. I don't even know if there's stuff in it. I think it's more than just fumes, but I don't know, dude. I need to walk out of the house. I'm gonna connect to the 5G. Let me know how the connection is. Wow. I mean, who would have been the runner up? We all know Coder, you know, had an advantage. But Jeremy, I think, was one of the only other people to cam up. And then King, obviously, this was all about replacing him. Even though, honestly, like, I don't know. I don't, like, if people are on my panel and I interact with them, I don't think it means I'm stamping approval on everything they've said or done, you know? It should be that. Oops. Make yourself useful and go supers, dude. I'm really hoping that chapter is just kind of like over. I think we're both exhausted of it. But I don't know. Then I also am hearing stuff about them wanting to change law to negate it or something. I don't know what to trust. People live for the drama. Wow, beautiful day. Beautiful day to stay inside, chain smoking, and freaking about AI until I have to go to work. But we're gonna be on time. We're gonna be on time. Celebrate. We started at 88K a year. So nice. Nice. That's really good. What happened to Zeus? He's not on Kick anymore. I think his account was temporarily banned for some kind of nip slip makeout kind of something. So I don't know. It takes a lot to be banned from Kick. I don't even know what their rules are. I know that Matt got banned for showing my old like sex videos, or there's not old sex videos, it's like old like solo content. But it's, you know, sex worky stuff. We call it New Heaven. Zeus is back on Kick. Oh yeah, and it's spelled. He spells it Zeus, but I think it's supposed to be like it spelled the other way, but he has it that way. Some girl slipped her titty out. Was it an accident, or is it like someone trying to fuck his channel up? I need to eat more protein for sure. I'm not having any meat or dairy. Man cannot live on avocado toast alone, they say. Hey, what's up, Jim? I'm just heading over to work. Just did a short little stream watching some AI videos and just random shit on my playlist. Kind of all over the place, but I don't know, figured I'm trying to, well, I'm not trying, I have been fairly consistent, but sometimes I'll take days off, like on Monday or Tuesday because I'm tired from the weekend. But it's not that hard to just do like a reaction stream. It's pretty low key. Jim, that's what I'm saying, okay? And chat thinks I'm literally retarded. And they might be right, you know? And it's like, okay, like, I don't have to do that. I saw Fernando earlier. Felt bad I didn't have any cigarettes on me because I was just going out to like a Dunkin'. She did it on purpose? He let a group of bystanders on his phone? What? Really? That's weird. God, people are so antisocial. Dude. Oh, so annoying. I need both hands for a second. I'm just looking for a lighter. Methadone predator. Yeah, that's a D-Dog reference. It's so strange. I mean, I don't intentionally seek out young people. It's just that I guess that's. But I don't know. I feel like I interact with people of all ages online. Over 18, though, obviously. What's up, weapons of mass destruction? That's definitely the end goal with AI and everything going on in tech. Drunk girls do flash their breasts to the cameras. I've seen it on UK police programs like Night Cops. I mean, it's like, I get like, is it even really that big of a deal though? Like, it's just a body. We're all born with them. And it's like, it's not nipples that are the issue. It's the fatty tissue around it. So it's like, it's not even logical. Isn't he like your age? I know. I think D-Dog's in his late 20s or he might be 30. So it's like, yeah, I don't. But in girl online years, like I'm like 80 years old, you know, in e-girl years. Hey, what's up, Emily? Stay away from those young 28-year-olds. They can make me get in the what they want. The vaping gave me popcorn lung and scared the crap out of me. Oh, you got that popcorn. That's scary. I heard about that. I still think it's probably better than smoking, so, but I don't know, man. I don't even know how anyone or anything exists. That just seems so crazy to me just on the baseline, so. Oh, I should have set it up so I could have fucking rated someone. Everyone go when I end this. If Lo is still alive at Riding High with Lo. She was doing a Get Ready with me earlier. I don't know if she's still doing it. I don't know who else is on right now, if anyone else is live. We have 67 in Christ immersed in e-warriors. Yeah, especially like in more people from more conservative spaces, I think. They like, especially like certain men really, it's like their revenge on women, like, I may be sexless and, you know, be dying alone, but you're only going to be hot for a couple more years, is the idea. Which I get it. I can, like, kind of picture myself, like, if I was in that perspective, you know, maybe it makes them feel like there's some justice in the world to think of, like, women suffering the way they've made men suffer by not fucking them enough or whatever. Alright, it's time to go act like a normal person. There it is going, sorry. I reckon no sex thing is cap, but if I was a Negro, I would say the same shit. I'm literally, I try really to be as honest as possible on my channel, genuinely. And that's why I've disclosed a lot when I did lapse and have sex. I disclosed it the moment I even was talking about having my ex over, you know? So it bothers me that I disclose so much and people still think I'm lying. Because it's like, I don't know, wouldn't I just pick a better lie? I don't know if this, I don't know. There's ways you could do grifts, you know, but I just don't think I'm griftable or want to grift or need to grift at this point in my life, thank God. Didn't your ex become a chick? Yeah. Yeah, my ex-fiance, who was like my longest relationship, I was with them for like 5 years. And then I went through a period of being celibate for about 5 years, I think. Yeah. From 2016 to 2021, I was not sexually active. I was doing webcam modeling. but heavily isolated, just by myself, super. And I lived with like some friends, but I wasn't really participating in the dating marketplace whatsoever. Wow, I'm actually gonna be perfectly on time. Franz left. Hey. Yeah, I gotta see if there's someone else who'd want to go with me. But it's kind of hard to conceptualize. I've been like, my energy's been a little down lately. Isn't it beautiful? I do feel like my life is on a beautiful movie set sometimes. Now that I'm off, done smacking all, I've been doing fucking prossies. What's that? Like a prostitute. No sex, no drugs. Mouse gets it. Just say no. Just say no if you're like really, 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 really crazy. Like, I wish people would understand that there are many things that brought me to this place. It wasn't like an arbitrary decision. It's just personal for my own mental health. It's not a moral stance. I don't care who fucks or how they fuck. But this is what happens when you put yourself out there. You are putting yourself out there to be like a mirror for people to project their own weird archetypes onto you and extrapolate and confabulate details of your life. It is what it is. Love it. And on that note, I will see y'all. I'll probably do longer streams in the next few days for sure. So stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. And farewell.